Good day everyone. In today's session we'll be seeing how we can remove the background from a picture, particularly in the case of a garment. The first thing that we need to do is we need to take the picture on a white background. It should be preferably white, but if you can't find anything white, then try to have a monotoned kind of a background. In this case, you can see that I have an acro colored fabric spread, and I've tried to minimize the number of creases on the fabric so that the removal of the background is relatively easier. Image that I have is of quite a large resolution, and that is not required in my end product. So I'll reduce the size of the image by going into image and then image resize, and then I'll reduce it by 50%. Now that the image is resized, I'll be selecting the magic wand tool from the toolbar. The shortcut for this is W. The settings that I'm using for the magic wand tool you can see on the top. The first thing that we need to make sure is that the add selection option is selected. Other than that, the remaining settings are by default and you can copy it from here as well. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to unlock our main layer by double clicking on the layer. So now it's unlocked, and after that, once we have selected the magic wand tool, we'll click on any part of the background and basically it will make a rough selection around the garment. Make sure that all the parts are selected, and if something is missed, you can click on it again to select it. The good thing and the bad thing about magic wand tool is sometimes it selects more than what's necessary. Just like in this case where the chord is selected and I do not want to add that into the part that's removed from the background. So what I'll do is I'll select the lasso tool. The shortcut for lasso tool is L, and in the lasso key I'm going to select the polygon lasso tool option. So with the help of the lasso tool, I'll be deselecting the area that I do not want to remove from the picture. Once we have made our final selection, we'll make sure that the edges of the selection are very smooth, and we can do that by going into select and then selecting modify, and from modify we select smooth. And smooth, based upon the size of the picture, you select a number of pixels that you want to smooth out. So in this case I'll be using 10 pixels. So what this will do is basically it will make sure that all the edges are a bit smoothed down rather than very crispy and sharp kind of thing, which gives it an artificial kind of look. Once again, zoom into the image and see if some areas are missed, and then you can add those areas depending upon your requirement. Once you're satisfied with your selection, hit the delete key, and basically what it will do is it will remove all the areas that you have selected in the background and give you a transparent image. The next step is to check if you have removed the background properly or not, and you can do that by creating a new layer and filling that new layer with a black color. So you can press the new layer button on the bottom and use the fill tool. The shortcut is G, and you can select it from the toolbar as well. And there is another shortcut that you can use, that is Alt and Backspace. So by doing this, you can see that there are some areas that we have missed. So I'm just going to crop the image down, and basically those areas will be removed. But in case where you have to use the full image, this practice helps you to identify areas which are not selected in the background removal process. The second step in the checking would be to create another layer, and this time fill it with white color. By flipping between these two layers, you can see and identify the areas which need further working. Just like in our case, the area in the crotch needs a bit of more working. So what I'll do is I'll select the lasso tool and select this area manually, and then remove it to my requirement. So here's the final image. I'm quite satisfied with the outcome of it. So I'll turn off the black layer and go into save as, and save this image as a PNG option. So it will give me the option of a transparent background, so I can use it easily in the PowerPoint file or whatever medium I want to use this file into. And here's the final look. and you can see it's quite nicely done, and actually it didn't take us quite a long time to do that as well. And as I was explaining this process during the video, that's why it took me longer. But if you practice on a regular basis, this background removal would hardly take more than 1 minute for a trained guy. So when you use the magic wand tool on this picture, rather than only selecting the background, the magic wand tool will also select part of the garment, because that is quite similar to the tone of the background. So in this case, we do not need to worry. What we'll do is we'll use the magic wand to get a rough estimated silhouette of this whole picture, and then again we'll use the lasso tool, the polygon lasso tool, and make sure that the areas which are not required by us are deselected with the help of that tool. This is relatively time taking in comparison to the first process, but we need to know how to do this in cases where the garment is complex or has a complex silhouette. So in the next few seconds, I'll quickly time lapse through the whole process, and will show you the end result. So here's the final result. We used all the same steps that we followed for the first example, and here is the final result that we have. You can see even with the help of the lasso tool, we were able to make a quite clean finish out. So I hope the whole video was useful for you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment in the comment area. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Thank you and have a good day.